afternoon, everybody. Can I welcome you on behalf of the new Hardy players? We're very pleased and privileged to be able to perform for you a scene from Under the Greenwood Tree, which was our main production last year. So I think a few of you saw this in the Corn Exchange, where the original players also performed the same piece. If by any chance one or two of you don't quite know the story of Under the Greenwood Tree, I will very briefly tell you that it starts off on Christmas Eve with carol singing, and the Deweys and the other villagers set off to go around Mellstock singing Christmas carols on their way. They have three encounters, three very significant encounters. First of all, they sing for the one very attractive young schoolmistress who's just come into the community, and three young men all fall in love with her. One is the vicar, one is Farmer Shiner, and the other is Dick Dewey, the hero of the tale. And their different responses to the choir lead on to what you're about to see. So this is just after Christmas now, when the village is settling down. And we're going to find ourselves in Mr. Penny's cobbler's shop, and you're going to see what happens next. So without further ado, here are the Hardy players to perform the scene from Mr. Penny's cobbler's shop with a little bit of music.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Dewey.
Afternoon.
If it's your bag you've come for, I managed to put a stitch in the handle. It's not perfect, but it'll hold out a while longer. I'll get it for you in a moment. There we are, my dear. That should be all right.
Thank you, Mr. Penny. Once Christmas had passed and the new year had been joyfully ushered in, life in the village returned to a steadier rhythm, and its inhabitants settled down to see out the winter till the spring should return.
Think we're in for a spell of nice weather, Mr. Penny.
Are we?
I certainly looking that way.
Oh, you, Mrs. Dewey. I thought I could hear voices.
You wouldn't get Mrs. Dewey's bag. It's out the back there, hung up. A leather shopping bag.
Oh, Robert, it's such a mess out here. You ought to do something about it.
That's the one.
Afternoon, ladies.
Afternoon.
My boots ready, Mr. Penny?
They certainly are, Mr. Shiner. They've been ready a week. It's always the same at Christmas. Folk want to look their smartest, bring their footwear in for repair, and then with all the festivities and whatnot, forget all about it, and all the orders pile up out here in the back of the shop.
Dear, he's a bit out of sorts, isn't he?
It's the weather.
He's not took again me, has he? I do hope's not.
Took again you? What on earth for?
Well, apparently I was a bit forthright when they came a carolling on Christmas Eve. I've no memory of what I actually said, but some of the language was a little ripe, or so I'm told.
Think you took them all by surprise, Mr. Shiner, coming as it did from a church warden.
Nobody said nothing at the party.
Christmas is not the time to hold a grudge, Mr. Shiner.
No, it was the elderberry wine that did it. Oh, it came out a bit strong this year. Thick as cough mixture with a kick like a mule.
Here's your foots, Mr. Shiner. I've patched them up best I can. But quite honestly, it's about time you invested in a new pair.
As long as they keep the water out. How much do I owe you?
1 and 6, if you please.
1 and 6?
1 and 6.
Oh. I thought the band played very well last night.
Thank you.
Very well indeed. That's what fiddles were meant for, in my opinion. Getting folks' feet tapping on a festive night. They're not at their best in a big old church, losing their pitch in the cold and the damp, strings snapping halfway through the vicar's sermon. No, an organ would be better in my opinion. Better all round. Especially now we've someone in the village capable of playing one.
Who might that be then?
Oh, Miss Fancy Day, of course. She's a damn fine woman. Drown me if she ain't. I'll settle up at the end of the week.
You make sure you do.
She'll break a fair few hearts, that Fancy, before she's done.
She will, yes.
She seems very nice.
Oh, she's very nice, yes.
Pretty as a picture.
And highly educated too. When it comes to book learning, they tell me she's an equal of any man.
Well, we all have to move with the times, don't we? Nothing stays the same forever, do it?
Our eldest is smitten with her, poor lamb. Completely smitten. Can't think of nothing else.
You're Richard.
He sits in the chimney corner all day long, dreaming of her, head up in the clouds, mooches round the house with his hands in his pockets, barely talking to his soul.
And he's not the only one, I'm thinking.
You mean?
Not another
Good
word.
afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
Mrs. Dewey, isn't it?
That's right.
And Mrs. Penny, I believe.
Yes.
Forgive me if I'm being a little forward. Just trying to get to know everyone. You know how it is. I see my role as something more than that, as simply officiating at the various ceremonies which mark the key moments in a person's life. Christenings, marriages, funerals and so on.
Well, I expect you do, yes?
I don't want you to think of me as someone up there, you know, but as a friend you can turn to in time of need. Whatever the nature of the problem, it's always best to lend a sympathetic ear. That's what I believe, anyway.
It's very reassuring, isn't it, Mrs. Penny?
Oh, yes, very reassuring.
Well, I can't stand here talking all day. I must be on my way.
Of course.
How much do I owe you for the bag, Mr. Penny?
Oh, it took me no time at all, really. Shall we say half a dozen eggs the next time I'm up at the cottage?
Oh, thank you.
By the way, Mrs. Dewey, I'd rather like a word with your husband, when he's time. There's a little matter I have in mind. It's nothing urgent, but I really would appreciate a word.
I'll tell him, right?
I hope you don't mind me calling round like this.
No, not at all.
The old vicar was a little reclusive, I gather. A terribly nice chap, apparently. But he had let things slip, rather, in the sense that he wasn't actively involved with the life of his parishioners. Something I intend to redress, in the fullness of time.
Well, he was getting very old.
He was, yes. Old and tired. It happens to all of us in the end.
Oh, well, I can't stay round here nattering all day. I must be getting on.
Of course.
Don't be too long, Robert.
Right.
And how's life treating you, Mr. Penny?
All the same as it's always done. Not too much to complain about and quite a lot to be thankful for.
So everything's as it should be. Good. Good.
Thank you very much, and thank you so much to the new Hardy players. It is always a delight, and that is one of my favourite scenes, so thank you very much. So this is a short reading taken from the Mayor of Casterbridge. The Mayor's former wife and his daughter have travelled to Casterbridge to search for him, and at the end of a long and difficult journey, Hardy describes their first sight of the town. It was on a Friday evening near the middle of September, and just before dusk, that they reached the summit of a hill within a mile of the place they sought. There were high-banked hedges to the coach road here, and they mounted upon the green turf within and sat down. The spot commanded a full view of the towns and its environs. What an old-fashioned place it seems to be, said Elizabeth Jane. It is huddled all together, and it is shut in by a square wall of trees like a plot of garden surrounded by box hedging. Its squareness was indeed the characteristic which most struck the eye in this antiquated borough, the borough of Casterbridge. At that time, recent as it was, untouched by the faintest sprinkle of modernism. It was as compact as a box of dominoes. It had no suburbs in the ordinary sense. Country and town met at a mathematical line. To birds of the more soaring kind, Casterbridge must have appeared on this fine evening as a mosaic work of subdued reds, browns, greys and crystals, held together by a rectangular frame of deep green. To the level eye of humanity, it stood as an indistinct mass behind a dense stockade of limes and chestnuts, set in the midst of miles of rotund down and concave field. The mass became gradually dissected by the vision into towers, gables, chimneys and casements, the highest glazings shining, bleared and bloodshot with the coppery fire they caught from the belt of sunlit cloud in the west. From the centre of each side of this tree-bound square ran avenues, east, west and south, into the wide expanse of cornland and coombe to the distance of a mile or so. It was by one of these avenues that the pedestrians were about to enter. The dense trees of the avenue rendered the road dark as a tunnel, though the open land on each side was still under faint daylight. The agricultural and pastoral character of the town upon whom the town depended for its existence was shown by the class of objects displayed in the shop windows. Scythes, hoes and billhooks at the ironmongers, beehives, milking stools and pails at the coopers, cart ropes and plough harness at the saddlers, carts and wheelbarrows at the wheelwrights, horse embrocations at the chemist, and at the glovers and leather cutters, thatchers' kneecaps, ploughmen's leggings and villagers' clogs. They came to a grizzled church whose massive square tower rose unbroken into the darkening sky, the lower parts being illuminated by the nearest lamps sufficiently to show how completely the mortar from the joints of the stonework had been nibbled out by time and weather. From this tower the clock struck 8, and thereupon a bell began to toll with a peremptory clang. The curfew was still rung in Casterbridge, and it was utilised by the inhabitants as a signal for shutting their shops. No sooner did the deep notes of the bell throb between the house fronts than a clatter of shutters arose from the whole length of the high street. In a few minutes, business at Casterbridge was ended for the day.
Well read.
I've chosen a late poem by Thomas Hardy. It's a very brief poem, but I think it's very moving. It's called When Dead. It will be much better when I am under the bough. I shall be more myself, dear, then than I am now. No sign of querulousness to wear you out shall I show there. Strivings and stress be quite without. This fleeting life-brief blight will have gone past when I resume my old and right place in the vast. And when you come to me to show you true, doubt not, I shall infallibly be waiting you.